Peace. Ya chase ene anyumensa mudwa ya boabo no say no sebre mu kase ye jobre. Efi sabre kwapem se no so bebo wo afidi kase so ne de mu nchemu asomo. Ewo akan kase mo ya trasi kase betwa ho ewe afile stations ahodo. Ye gina nkran bupuni mantemu a eye okay 101.7 afa neat 100.9 ye betwa ho okumasa sante mantemu hello 101.9 Yenam social media platform no so patch on Facebook aye peace 104.3 afenso TikTok obehu yan e wo hose peace FM adeshemaima ensemodo a yede somo ene onyujubre edoso nanso emu ene animu bi enie chiame hine wo my Ghana mra shebedwe fia kaseti ya 9 months for na yetusha omo wo say ensemfata na endimukra.
I want to take this opportunity to condemn in no uncertain terms the attack on the team of security officers.
Saso ena dom kuma ba no dani wo my Ghana mra shebedwe fie che na dwene afa no kokese ye swai wo illegal mining ehu.
Issue of Galamsey calls for action, collective, not an NDC MPP affair, but a Ghana affair.
Oswafo ya wo hwe Samson na wo kasa kire se Ghana for yakosie nani ese ye kwa akoto about 2020 na afeso 2024 na nipa ewu eye dunum
15 deaths across the country and well over 40 individuals got injured.
Jom tineni adima MPP amanyoko ne nkrabata wa asante mantem lawyer ni ne workers say aban lawyer ni pani esigina bia ne nye ho kra wo se ye no ane se na me ti wa che na dwen ade afa hom sa so na local government minister kasa watches NDC aban hye ya wo de som Ghana for a 24-hour economy policy no wo mu si dwa bia te sa ene enwumre nsem pika wo hu ne yesi nkonwa ye de esomo yemfa sedama enwumen ya ho de free Osons chemist in Champacho Osons garlic capsules no ya no agibia no nom asiese woni padua mu apomodin awie paye MTN was we day for you everywhere you go o telecommunication network ba ko a ye trase twa won cruise say we twuma no agi abrane high sense Ghana mau electrical appliances ahodo e free refrigerator afi with chest freezer and air condition television rice cooker no a high sense Ghana won chain ene ye tobien dolphin roofing system on chance papa na dia board down so chance a enkodwunu chance a hotie na afi wo de board down so a etwa clean budget cash and carry and my energy drink so kwa awodwa so emfie bebre ni eye blue jeans energy drink ahode foforo ayenya emieja brand bo atwuma te se konkoma fo agyan no Pepsodent cavity fighter ni ye po ye se ne enuma tumi atew ye eboa ye papa papa me ye se achinam tumi ye den na pampan a enye bia yi firi ho na nkeka wa hyehye asim ni so asanso ye wia na me enum atewan we ye executive toothpaste wodwa so sanso na me kanfo ohenere spices adiama wo kwani the only spices are yebetumi aka si yembo ama nutritionist for cra science so certify ma say yeah no and afa ye aduane e yo hene ye spices why natural and why ye no me so kan say Ado and Sons and my well sleep nibi ye adwumadin kodru fie na mra yo abe widie nim na sa hodin ni ho a ye jare ya apie peje atechema ne de aso ase wo spray ase na no wada obeda na ho wan set alarm na ene ahwe kra na time betime bitu Ruta natural product wodwa so ye no Ruta mixture and afa Ruta Titanic no ebem ye tumenya hode foforo tumeja ye na so ye moja no a entumi ne afurisa ne ye ne bekanya ni nyinamo na sanso asom ye papa Lawson Herbal Center ye gina ho ani Lawson Lord Chemistry ni bi ni anonom eboan ye nipadua no makacha so oba titiu doctor de wogina waso wosom ma ene nti ne friend the virgin doctor obo adwuma ma na mo atwa ne kuruse e ma dia danse wo ho enti je Lawson Lord Chemistry ni bi wono no ma ebe boaboa na afen bacteria sahodo a ha wo nipadua ni mu infections sahodo a oba etete no asam ni nyina de afri ho yakoye adwuma ne yenye sika no wia yeko Ecobank Ghana the only Pan African bank ye ji won di ne yakosie yen sika wo ho cancer Mr. Wo nti yenso se attractors betete abrabo ya gibisa ne no ma yensa na du ba bia na yetititi no esa moja ne mu masese yetumi yensa no star bia bi na ye koyenim takwafo kai 0244871862 afi cancer 0245012201 na afi cancer Mr. no onsa ka bi onyujubre akenkan for yesom wo eyeme nana ama ano enafe ohine wa kase boahene afi kase bone munchemu eni Ghana man penny excellency don Dramani mama no washe Ghana fo nyina abose woguso a wo ka chese ne etie bi illegal mining wo behwe ese wo betimi etu eso sante ebremu de se ne oguso a wo hye ye bonti na sisi ano wo bo amane a wo chese ku a won sha banse eye 9 months wa pa wo mo ese won koso nya adwumaden kwa ebretu ahodo mu eni nsuo mu se ne be betimi etu ase na wo ka ne se ne wo chese ku na adwuma wo ye de eden enti wasre Ghana fo nyina ase yentimi emwa no yemmo ne chidom na wo muntimi enye wo ka ne sei amanfo bi chese ampoma Penny Dramani mama ne wo ka ne kwan so an won koso nya ne sesanse ye gusu a ye fam ne chi se wo fam se nso Ghana fo betimi ya ade aye adwuma na so wo mo fa nya adwuma no na akwakoye boachi bidinti amanfo gusu a wo che wadwe se illegal mine no ye ka bede pass ebushia ye betimi etu ase ena no Ghana fo ye te wo ye nka bi shem ne beto dwa ese wo social media so de kire se wase video bi gusu a trend na sa video no esi pa wo hwediem woni 9 months adwuma efo bi a wo mo ye asrafo partim se do before complain emema 10 gram fo a wo mo kobo adwuma na so ewi eche kromafo ne se dabi ye no ane se na mbe ya che ne se na hia brusui ebridia brother ye kire se nya aposifo de a anka ebushia ne course ne se woni sisi ye ka kire wo na se ne omanfo gusu a wo si ne koso na afi wo ka ho nsam ntim ena achiame hene wo my Ghana mra shebe fie yewra honorable nankasa Alban Simana Kingsford Babin wo kasa na wo se wono so kura wa tibi we die Ghana fo woni bebi asem ne fi ebasan sempenifo se wiase mu koto se wafefo gusu a wo gi asra na wantene ukokromoti anye bia ne eka ne se ukokromoti ewunti se ne nipa bonfo bi kuru yamo jampo otimu da na 9 monthsfo pa gusu a wo bo adwumaden na wotu hye omo so de wo kire se wo kaseti ya papa na woni pa wo hwe sa video mu a na ne di trend pa wo my Ghana mu eye mrashe bedwani Ebeneza Kweku ado won de wo manfo dodo na kire wadwen a wode a wo kanza wanya de wo se a na nti MP kura na Collins Dauda kura na asoma wasabe wo ye mrashe bedwani wo ye paninti ukoye no na nka sebe nyanse da wutiri masam no wo betimi adada na kusakusa ne kama etimi ane fefefe sane be ya enipa no kura won sebe wo se MP kura ena ni wodi nkomanenso sane amanebo no to aso ekire mo koye no afi ne watwe tetefon ai ena MP kura wo abato mpesua so se wo pese wone wo edi enkomo na no na speaker wo kasa wo chem se we die emu oya we die mokonim na so wo kan wo kan se wanto ne bo ase anse kire ne se aduasa mienu anka bia amanfo be kasa wo ye pani wo my Ghana mu na so ye ka gina sie pa de wontimi ensibim speaker sama wo kan yina se sisi ade ye kan Ghana fo anya de bia amane akura no yetimi abɔ no na so wate binti ena wo hya ase a wodi ho nkomoim wase illegal mine na ye ka ho asam ne sei enye se bia banti na omanfo a ye preto ha ena ye ndisi aba na teso enti ndisi aba mu mpanifo pe na wonhwe so obetimi aka wasam wase Ghana fo Galamsey na ye ka ne sei eye Ghana fo nyina yasem ene yasudi.
The attack was allegedly incited by one of our own, the Member of Parliament for Asitufi North constituency, Honorable Ebenezer Kweku, who further ropes in a senior member of this House, Honorable Collins Dauda. While I'm yet to be fully briefed on the matter, I want to take this opportunity to condemn in no uncertain terms the attack on the team of security officers who have been assigned to help deal with the menace of Galamsey, which has to be dealt with.
Ania yekoti chame hene wo my Ghana mra shebe de fie wa manensi wonu ma no wo kire se we de ya futua anu ade particularly typically tight and we de ko ade ama mra shebe dwafo se wo ye MP a wo si o manfo na emunti eni kwan se su ni ban bi ensem fata na wo danedi wase akoba ne sa wo ye rep into manfo hwew no se enti honorable member pan wogina parliamentary a wo bosa bra we de o se akoba ne sa anya fenti we de obesre se wo ye MP pa de abrabo bi a wo bo wo nantie wo kasa mu nyina hwe say ebeye ne ebese dia ma manfo na afi so wasi sasem we dia won hwama ne nanti wa prep e dia ma legal officer wo my Ghana mra shebe fie.
Look to this House as a beacon of hope, and it is our collective duty to set a standard that reflects the values of our great nation. I want once again take the opportunity of this formal communication to remind all of you that our actions and inactions carry immense power, effect, and impact on Ghanaians and the world at large. I have therefore instructed the Office of the Clerk and the Legal Services Office to provide all the needed support to the investigation by the Ghana Police Service within the framework of the 1992 Constitution, the laws of this country, and the standing orders of the House.
Asama speaker no wadi twa to ne se wo ye mpina akodi nsemoni a wonka wo mata wo se wo beyi wama.
That the member has voluntarily submitted himself to the Criminal Investigation Department of Ghana Police to assist in the investigation, as many members have done in other cases under investigation. In fact, there are so many members of Parliament that are under investigation, and my office has never shielded any member of Parliament, and many have volunteered themselves without coming through my office. And so please, let it not be said anywhere that members of Parliament are being shielded from the rule of law. Not at all. I have the copies and the list of the members involved. So while I commend this action of the member,
Ani ayokotie wano chiamehene wa my Ghana mrashe bejofe Akan Smana Kingsford Barben Sansem Wegina William Gentu Emmanuel Colin Etra de Besum yen. Adam Kumana na no ni wa my Ghana mrashe bejofe ye onumanyanfo Alexander Kwame na afenyomaken was say amanyofo wa my Ghana mu nyina di o my Ghana hwemo papa e wo Galamsey no ntokwa ne ho was hwe yenka no kran ye hwe ene atunwache e wosenka amanyofo nyina atumi ye ansa na watumi ahyanse akodi atia Galamsey no a wo mu nyina boa wo mu nyina hya amanyosam taade ya wo no onyi ne ho mfamfiri mu bi osu se anamo papa bi wo ho senka wo mu nyina atunwache papa bi wo ho e wosenka wo mu nyina atumi aye sane ye beyanka de ye hwehwe animu se yensa kan e wo Galamsey no kon no ho no ka wo se yetimi akon aduru ho de down ye drum na sebeje fia efutu abaton pesa so akunya no pani na teso wo se hwe wo kama Ghana de hye nyina ate ase se ene se ye adwa yabo se ye kodi atia efom gudi tu a enfamra kwan so a ene ye wo sere amanyofo nyina sen obi anwro ne party atade mfamu ho party atade no se ye blue o se ye koko se ye fita obi anyi mfamu ho na obi anhye na atade ye oman Ghana atade no na enu mom ye hunu se ye ni abere ye boko jana ye boyeti se ye bo amoman Ghana ne mo ye mo fa ma amanyoko bia e wo man Ghana ha sen wo se wo kama Ghana de hye ate ase se etumi nya akukuduo ye ne saa ne ye nyina amanyoko bi di mu anko entia Galamsey no a ogidie wa behemu se wo man Ghana ye mogya nani bebre ne be kire de ye hwehwe na de ye hwehwe ne so no ye si ye bo a ye nsa betumi aka saa bra me ne wo kasai namra hyebeja fie chia me hene Right Honorable Akan Kingsford Sumana Barben wade nsama tudwan e de fa Galamsey no ni titiriu eye de si ye wo National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat ena mosudwumedi anano we sutifi anafo abaton pesa so e ma ne homne so e wo ho.
The issue of Galamsey calls for action, collective, not an NDC MPP affair, but a Ghana affair, so that it doesn't become like who you go to the area the people are mining, and then you say, oh, because you may lose election, you don't want to talk about it, or they will even push you to be lawless, all in the interest of votes that would end up in a coffin. Do we want to be burying people every weekend and all?
Adesemaima efutu abaton pesa so mra sebejani Honorable Alexander Kwame na afenyomaken na no si yape edom kuniye wo man Ghana mra sebeje fie na anu ni onumonyamfo Mahama Ayare Gabo ko central mra sebejani so na no tumu se esutifi kro mra sebejani no mpanifo ayenhyehyeye wadi mra no so odne ho akoma pose adwumako ne fa ye bonefo se mu hwehwemu wako yenso de wo se wo mu ye no omatu ehu anamo no wogidie se nhyehyeye o man ye se o mu dini gina court no ebekosa na mra no ayetwuma.
They received him at CID headquarters, took him through the processes, and I received a call not quite long ago that he has been taken to court, and as we speak, he is actually in court being arraigned. And so let me also indicate that as members of Parliament, we do not consider ourselves being above the law, that we are always ready to be held accountable for our actions and inaction. We pass the law establishing the law enforcement agencies. We approve the appropriations to finance them to carry out these assignments that we have assigned them, and we pass the laws defining the crimes, and also we invite them to this house, and we often try to hold them accountable for the extent to which they are enforcing the law.
Dom do dress some more my Ghana na sebeja fie na no ni udrubo ko central so wono ne omra sebeja ni onmonya form hama yare gasan semi nyina yama ne bofo akintra wosom yenu William gain to NFA Emmanuel Akole ene de som yen
Dwamtene ni adema MPP amanyoko ne nkrabata wa asante mantem eye Bernard Nchibo osi akododo na afra ne chema wuntumi lawyer ni ne wo kasa na wo se aban lawyer ni pani etu anamo bi a Dr. Ayene wadwene ho awonte ase se sisi a no wo hwe kwadu ana se ntansa abonefo montansa ye de bu omu na chese nipa nan na ye ka ho asem no chama wontumi ka ho sa so e na akonta man ka ho nipa miensa ka ne ho na nipa miensa ne kane manager e de ma akonta mining Edward Ekuoku wo moti wan ma wo moti se AGC osisi ade sa abonefo sem charges ye de bu ogina no ye ni nyina de atofom se ne be ye obegine mu edi dase de atia chama wontumi e ho na lawyer ni ti no se anaze de we de enye ne sa ye ne sa kwa bia so ade ne yenim se wo my Ghana mu de ye ka bibi ti se prosecution witness ya dodo na ho ma wo ate ho asem na so kwan a aban lawyer ni pani wadi awrom de wo kire se wagi tuma nya kwan bia so lawyer andi apia kubi wade sansem wagina to dwa na due wo court dem bra na chese pem pani wo cheche ni semu ade kire Ghana fo ne enti a Edward Okoko sa cases ahodo bia na sentence wade bono wo se wo jemu e ma na de atofom na wo se we na wo ye ni se ejina kese pa wo mu si sanse sisi an wo my Ghana se wo hwemu a entansa na ye ka ho asem se ne medical dia tudwa no asante mantem chairman de man PP amanyoko chairman untumi ka ho akonta mining company limited mu akote na afeso afoforo mienu enti wo my Ghana nkasa emremu de wo mu kiremu a se nipa nan ni nyina ye ka se edi o masem na wo mu nyina akwadem na wo man abrasa afe ne yakoye hwehwemu akwakosi ase on bebrenti e na wo hwe bibiti se bra edi se ya wo mu yi na esi nche na afe kwadu ntansa ni nyina wo mu jemu dia to from sene be ya wo betimi ejina adaka mu amaga na aban na afi wedi dase etia lawyer se yenye ne sa kwan e wo kwan bia so nti wa kirekyerem se aban lawyer ni peni wonhwe se mrabata be ye adwuma no ye minister for justice there we dia se atemu ne wo ya yipemu.
I always sound this morning that we should be careful not to attempt to influence decisions of court. Attorney General is also Minister for Justice, and his role as Minister of Justice is even more important than his role as the Attorney General and government prosecutor, because the justice of the moment is so important to every one of us as citizens of the country. Our emblem is freedom and justice. So if Attorney General, with all the materials available to him, all the resources available to him, including him being human personnel, if it is just for him to only rely on a former accused person to prosecute a matter against one of the accused persons or some of the accused persons, and he thinks that this may not be undermined, that is his decision.
Ani ekotie wano aye dwamtene ni adema MPP amanyoko ne nkrabata okumase e wa asante mantem chema wontumi lawyer Andy Apia kubi sansem we Philip Atanga ena de besomye
ma yeni amanyose mu nkomo kakra. Minister for Interior Ora Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak achemu se empanifo tra se chance to anamonso wo yenhwehwemu diafa yabato ahodo ayato ni mprempren mu emu achewache ya ama ne homre so ewo man Ghana ha na sa achewache no empanifo gina sidi a wo si wo ho ye se ohunu ne kofare ba no watimi asia no sane ebe ya ye koye nim no yabato mu sa achewache no entimi sori biom eno no wachemu dia kwa wie se wa afimpiemienu ene aduonu aba ye to ye ene afimpiemienu ne aduonu nan sa abato no nso yenya amanyose mu ntokwa e ma ne homre so yabato ni mu ekobia achie no emu mako edumienu ene twini ho boni beka se 12 cases a fa election ho na eno to no emu basabasa ya esori ne kan ho bi ma nipa mako edunum ene ti nananom ewon sedo achie nipa mako aduanan de wo mu so prepre mu adin pa wo mu pra no ya bakosem ya dansidi eda wo kyese abato ni mu no konya asa pra ni nyina de free ye owura mu ntaka Mohammed Mubarak de sasami to dwa enen na one sentrofo di nkomo na wo kye won dwumadie no empempenso a wadi de akwakoduro wose santo kwaye ma ne homne so wo yabato mu no ne kofare ban e pai mienu de di kan ya se amanyofo mienu political party we chi tarfo omo nti omo ho ase na omo de abom e be wi akye no na obi apira anase mpo ne ate wo mu no obi afa ne baabi anase security agencies ahodo a wo mo na ehwe aboban e wo ho no so no ebia na nipa bi ma bodompem wo ho basa ye eba menteme wase asore wo mo de wo ma no aka kire wo mo se bambofo so wo mo nte bambofo so de wo hwe won brofo kasa no emu a wo say if persuasion fails force must be applied enti ebi susu wo ho a na bambofo ni bi ete edom ne ntem na wo mo nte enti de be wia ne se bia ye be ma wo ne short owiem anampo ye betumpo de ahwe edom ni mu se na bia ehu ni suro beba wo mu no watime agya de wo mo ye no wei ene de ma ne hom ne so wo ya ba ye tui wa afimpimienu ene aduonu ene afimpimienu ene aduonu nan a nipa mako edunum eti nananom e won se do e ma akire aduanan enso atumi apira wose sa abra woni ye kasan Inspector General of Police Owura Christian Tete Yohonu ene ne dom ate de friend says special task force na wo mo dwuma wo mo di nyina ye se afimpimienu ne aduonu ene afimpimienu ene aduonu nan sa ya bato emu ntokwa e ma ne hom ne so no sa special task force na dwuma ne se okwa akoye nhwehwemu na wahunu asam ne nyina de aka achie kofarbai ehwo achewache no watimi aboa no watu mpanimfofo anamo a wamuntu emfamfa ho.
The Inspector General of Police inaugurated a special task force within the Criminal Investigation Department (CID) of the Ghana Police Service. The mandate of the task force was to collaborate with the stakeholders to identify and investigate all electoral violent cases that resulted in fatalities during the 2020 and 2024 general election. The Special Investigation Task Force identified 12 cases that took place during the 2020 and 2024 general election. These cases had resulted in 15 deaths across the country, and well over 40 individuals got injured. The report outlined detailed account of all the 12 cases recorded during the period. The detailed report, which has been submitted to His Excellency the President, also contains the various incidents, how they were brought or got to the notice of the police.
Interior Minister Sansu Sisudia say afimpimienu ene aduonu ni afimpimienu ni aduonu nan ade ba ko pesa Ghana de hyete ase yese etuo kasa papa etuo no soso no amanyofo eti taifo ni titiru tutuo ni bi ena bambofo nso etu bi.
Through careful review of police dockets, on-site inspections, and stakeholders interview, the Special Investigative Task Force identified 12 specific cases. I must be quick to add that I have since directed that the report of the Commission on the Election Violence at Ayawaso, West Wuogon, be implemented fully for justice to prevail. These incidents span multiple regions, including Bono East, Greater Accra Region, Bono Region, Northern Region, Central Region, Savannah, and Asante region. The circumstances of each case vary, but nearly all involve the use of fire during confrontation between supporters of the two major political parties, and instances where security personnel resorted to the use of live ammunition, warning shots as means of crowd control.
Adesemama openi ache musa so de akwakwa wie sesese wo hwe abaton pesuaso ahodo a ododo dio abaton pesuaso ehon so menteme ho asema ne homre so na ayese kinkon na nya asem keto ehwo de no anyese wo mani apaso de bi wo ma yehye ya bo ache de aba aban lo ya fo se wo muntu emu anamon.
Investigation into one of the cases during the 2020 general election at Ododo was completed. The Attorney General is currently prosecuting 3 persons who are standing trials at the High Court Criminal Division. The investigation established that 3 of the cases resulting in 4 deaths are traceable to the use of firearms by armed police patrol teams. Military personnel were also found to be responsible for 3 of the cases resulting in the death of 3 persons when they intervened to restore calm, chaotic crowds. Investigation further established that 4 of the cases, which resulted in 5 deaths, were recorded when party enthusiastic supporters resorted to the use of firearms against their opponent. The 2 other cases involve persons who were lynched during confrontation between supporters of the 2 major parties.
Adesemama wonumanyafo Akan Mohammed Mubarak aswase abato pesaso no asebejani ono ene somoman Ghana say Interior Minister.
Yewra Ahmed Ibrahim ye waswafo ye wo hwe nkronkuma memu ni mpunto wonsams no wachre SSC and NDC aban ye krado se ne tie bia 24-hour economy ho asem na ye kan ho dwa wo ba besi wode sansem wagina to dwabra wo ye amamre ne amane ema bedwom nkasa ho dwumedie course mantem aswafo na afeso wone a wosi aban anem.
and sana ye be 2024 election no ye man penyin president mama ka say nyame ye na dum na oba o de mre ene be ye adwuma entinde obo hu da Europa Ghana for gina so to aba ma no ene say de ye wo kwa ama no ne a omo ye adwuma 24 hours a obia na no say ebe ye shift to ebe 24 continuous nyame ye na dum na oba or the 24-hour economy ene be ye adwuma na ye ministry ho ye na hwa ye sub implementing agency that ye the 24-hour economy no ye adwuma but yenti a ye ni say ya hunu bida 2013 to 2016 ye man pay the same John President Mama or promise 200 community day school ye blocks all be free akonwa no so na wa wie a commission 56 na emu bebre wo ho a 70% 80% me no wo kasai edaso wo ho
na nonsense for ebisa minister sanya bia nyame ya dom na market no wasi anioma bensa na yen hwe ni wo market honom
ye ni say ye sidwa ewo mansini bia mu na mansini bia obesidwa fire station wom say de be ya jahihie obeti say market we ashi standardized material wire odi be wire market ni nyina fire service testify before you go ahead na ya see police station say de be ya ombe police market no obi obesa okodidwa wo ha na bi obetimi akọ na ya see bank nso ewo ho obi a opese we did that we now see unya sika bi later you can go and bank it na women's banker ye man penny promise ye no so eno so na ye dia shame me no can say finance minister allocate 50 million 2025 budget eno go for the women's bank 2025 the year ba or be count by the time my basis banks where we know na sa sika no so are ready
afeni ebisa minister say o afuto bi a wode kọ ediama regional ministers na afeso wani DC for MC for no wose awo bebre na no so say no wakiremu
ya promise 24-hour economy market yen ka say minister for local government yen procurement no akra e na ka say omunya no assembly so a tika na omudi kosi dwa no eso say assembly no threshold endru 1 million market na ye kwa kosi no ebrusa indika say ye no ministry but ye ka say ye tna akra ha 261 marketer wa hwa ye be wie procurement na ye ko kosi ye mpanisa enti yen decentralize na yen timi wie commission na Ghana for hwe so santo abamai enu na e regional ministers ni say threshold do amemi won uso wo enti mo amunya procurement our regional coordinating council. Now, supervising making sure say all procurement one day, all opening one day, all construction one day. We are in Nasa. Now, the 18 months, 12 to 18 months, amamu. And 2 years. Say the beya mubet miye not president mama abe commission.
Ebusia eni ekwetie wano eye wasoafo ya wo hwe nkronkuma memo ni mpunto won sem so sanso ehwe som ahodoso wo mbaye mu yewra Ahmed Ibrahim ti wato ne boase a chechim hihye mapa wo muguso a wo mo yese ne be ya 24 hour wo chese model market ne ba mfasode a Ghana fo nyina yensa betimi akatitiw eni wani ahya ase bie bodwabodwo adwuma wo chese Ghana ban ebebo wo mo echidom na sansem nyina Abdullahi Dasmani ene tro ya wode ebesom yen na busia ma yenyina weso na yentwa ye ho sima ye ba nsam aka eso betwa so e dia mamu ye ba sisia
Peace FM.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Peace FM. Peace FM.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Adesimama yamaya ho akwa ba ye to akase ne so. Ye kwa education minister so ye ne wadi nkomo se ye ngomasua no ebredu se emfa woni akoda bia de ye kye no osuku mu anya hwe ne computer no asese ye se ye kye ye ma no ye ma wo mo so hunu se ade a fe ne se cyber security no ha twen enti ye nkire wo mo bibi mfanfa ho a wo sha asesi mountain so se wo kwaye adwuma na ne office wo no so ota computer ni bia chi a de obetumi aye e de abo computer no ho ban de obetumi aye na information a ye de gu computer no so wode bebo ho ban na sabio wo ma wanim dia ye kra bifo ntimi ennam saa won kwan na wo wiewia nkrofo information so entumi hardware ana empo ono ankasa e wo ne personal information bi na egu computer no so a watumi abo ho akra wose wiase nyini na wiase nyini a ye mai yakaso mo digital world na enkora no so timi nim niam ahodo fi computer ni mu no ene ye wose wo mu hunu de ekoso e wo computer ni hunu achi ne ye se information ye di gusuo no wo betumi abo ho ban kwan ben na betumi afa so abo ho ban eno ye nim die foforo ya o hye mukina se ye hye asenkyekere maburu no wosuku mu na entumi mu awon papa National Cyber Security Education Conference akoso na education minister onomonyafo Haruna Idusu nye ono ankasa ne koye Professor Diwaju Mumin ene jana nemu ekasa ye prof ye executive director Center for National Distance Learning and Open Schooling or say yenim se adwuma bia ye wo wiase no ene abefo computer ebo ho akra eno ne adidi dwuma no computer no so de ehho akade ne ho mpempena de doso na se wanya mu nimdi a ubesi den de ya adwuma wose emre bi atwamu ene ye ka computer na se mo a ye beka se wo mo ye IT technicians nkwa na ye kire wo mo se dabida ene de anoma ba bia woni computer mu no e wo se de friend se cyber security ene ehho mpempena de no yetimi kire na abo awon wumanim akwanimu.
In 2024, the ministry, working through a multi-stakeholder technical working group comprising the Cybersecurity Authority, CENLOS, NACA, and other key partners, undertook a comprehensive review of the ICT in education policy and also the EdTech strategy to embed cybersecurity and digital safety across all levels of education, ensuring that safety and resilience are built into how we teach, learn, and innovate. However, this revised policy is yet to be finalized, and the ministry is committed to giving it the needed attention to ensure its completion and implementation.
Professor Diwaju Mumin and Yatin Kane was a Jumedia Krano Aseno Ghana Tertiary Education Commission GTEC Director General Professor Ahmed Abdullah Jinapos same says Yesuku Puaho Duano so or Srepa Papa San Koma Womudi or Mumusha San Friho a Yanesano a betumia Buane Sania Kofom na Mabunu Akano so Yetumia Che Womubi.
In this digital era, that vision extends beyond academic excellence. It encompasses digital integrity, data ethics, and technological resilience. The Commission is therefore intentional about integrating digital competencies and cybersecurity awareness into our quality assurance frameworks, program accreditation, and institutional audits. An MOU is set to be signed to strengthen GTEC's collaboration with the Cybersecurity Authority in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, we expect universities and colleges not only to produce employable graduates, but to nurture resilient graduates. Individuals who understand the value of information, the sanctity of privacy, and the ethical use of technology in advancing Ghana's development.
Adesemaima ni Pertini Ken, your Director General, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission GTEC, Professor Ahmed Abdullah Jinapo. Sabra Menoka say, Ora Divine Salasi Agbeti say, Ono Krano Washa Sanko Modian said it down, Oni GTEC na Kaunti Apamu and after Ministry of Education. Now, the wire say, and nay, cyber security or the Akan curriculum no, na Mugusu Dimun Komose betumia ye paye, no Washa Sache Mabruno, and to afford the penny for me new air council.
As part of our strategy, we are actually working with the education sector of the ministry to develop into the curriculum from basic schools, basic cyber security awareness program built into their curriculum, especially safeguard how to be or how to surf online. So we are working with the education sector, the ministry especially, to come up with a curriculum, and we hope to launch the very first of that by end of next year.
So there is a working group, and they are currently engaging on developing that curriculum, because we know that our children actually use internet even sometimes more than us.
One on some say Executive Director Cyber Security Authority Oron Divine Salasi Agbeti Yasentra for Henry Akwesimin Khan this answer me so yen Madam Ansana ye try yen hunu ye di nkomo kakram e de for Interior Minister de wame ate asedi free afimpim yenu ne aduonu ene afimpim yenu ne aduonu nan yabato ye to ye mu ache wacho ne ho ye kwa ahoma no so ne ne security analyst or sanso ye lecturer Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center Dr. Victor Doke akodi nkomo dog Madam so nka ye mo adwo ene wonyu jubrei okay ye hwe ani mu se bre kwa ani mu no ye sanso enya dog a ye be kwa chi ne no akwa akodi enkomo sanso opani bre bi atwa mu sansami wa cheche na dwen kran de afa ho pen ya bato mu achewache no kwan ya na wo che se ye betumi afa so wa gina ba bi kran so sanso di eye emu enkomo pen Dr. Victor Doke was security analyst or science lecturer Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. Dog wada masoti and kan yamwajo edeba peace kase boso.
Major also about Germany.
Dog yenim san komo we kra de wadi bi pen. Ama sa bra na o man Ghana ye nyante. Eye mpanimfo kra nim difo se o mon kwahwehwe abato ni mache wacho no de biada montete ya amode ma e wo peacekeeping training ho ntini ya na mo cheche yen se enka yen twem ma ne nyansa ye wo bibia ye betumi aye e na wote report ya ba montin so Interior Minister ken wadama wo fa ne sen
it nyama se ali itumenya with regards to report here about out nature say institutions na yesterday or we do with regards to more independence and resilience no eyesuma and he report here by some everyone how do we implement and then here how now whichever ones are you say because of one or two visits no going to be enough evidence with regards to information yes I said we would deal with that one also so that justice will prevail and yes sir the friend of picket the party I was say, yeah, and I see a man completely there. I don't know, you man, I say, let's look at he's dealing with the report, the need fatality in terms of the recommendations now, but yet implementing a more form. As we say, the law is there. Let's make the institutions work. Institutions, they say, and you who say it would serve as a deterrent. Coming 2028, from now to 2020, there's a lot of time, but we need to listen. The next time, it repeats itself.
Dog, institutions are some working yet. Tonight, I am Mama English Bonifita, Fini Mamu. I want no crown, no, and your Bonifita, Keke, one also crown, who any more Jamoja, a bibi sumo JB, a one home. One also back chain Genesis to say, Bra ye bra ye wo, ye my munina a institutions, and a nay, what's yes so, and your first time I walk in. Sabra Menoka say, I am also West Wagon, and send me by ye, yet a committee my woman so, and may real chino, or moke cake and some who do the Yan Fahu. I feel the Interior Minister say. Ye dey no eba be sha say ye adwuma de abata de ye hu e wo 2020 any 2024 general election no ya na de na Ghana ye nunu ye ho ani asere keke ana sabi ye nhye da nim nti ye wia na ye kabo keke bi ene ye jade ato.
It's very important say regards to what ever be seen it's for the betterment and once the government and other institutions they want to see to it that even they see why also was wrong. Everything is going to be implemented. It will be good. But when Mr. Su said, we shouldn't just look at the implementation and leave it at that. Yet share laws, no. The one he was say review with regards to election, party, internal party politicking, national party politicking, and security wise. Election management body. How are we supposed to make sure that nobody flouts the law again? And then implementing recommendations that they may say the institutions will still be lacking with regards to what their authority and autonomy to work, and the citizens know any of everywhere. We then will know that the institutions are not working, and then some of us also will flout the law proceedings there. Let's see, I also went from 2024. Nothing came out of it. It is a very good step the government has taken. Let us see, say, it will be played out or will be implemented. It is also said, we should watch and then look at what the government is going to do. What estate, watch, investigate, and find out. Give the information to the people. Say, these recommendations have been implemented. It will happen again, and then he is actually free.
Da good when ye di yabato aya to bebre e wo Ghana ha sei. Wo hwa yankofa da ye bambo adwuma eku ahodo no entem ene kwan a eduru wo se ye to aba obeka se the D-day of the election so de security agencies ne ye bambo fo ni si ye wo adwuma omo kan asumsembom omo tetene wo ho bom o hwe D-day no se de omo si ye kopem se be bo aba no a ya na etew sen.
D-day ni de it's always uncertain because what prepared, what are demonstrations about how to control crowds and thugs who come to the polling stations in Myanmar. The 3 demonstrations before, during, and after, they are all very essential. However, D-Day and Akan are very opposed. Why so? Because interactions with regards to voting can disturb and mar the whole process. Vote counting, declaration, command the whole process as we've experienced in 2024 and in 2020. The delay of the election management bodies in constituencies, the inability to declare results and can affect all what the security authorities, the pressures of money. However, security-wise also, how do we ensure that we have more personnel on the ground, effective and efficient training, and then the right equipment for us to work and achieve the purpose? Collaboration with all parties is very essential. And then the aspect of maintaining neutrality, because sometimes, you say, well, if change the bar, then the security apparatus would probably come and then sort of like have sympathy towards one party than the other. How do we ensure that thing doesn't happen again? But security-wise, preparations go through, but on the D-Day, the test of the situation would, and as the man said, the preparations is it adequate or not? But in prepare, even security-wise, you evolve. But for you evolve. Things change. Dynamics change, and there was cyber warfare and all of this, cyber security threats and all of that. Which is day in and day out in the security things changing. How do we ensure that? Yes, security apparatus will change. We need effective and efficient rampant training, capacity building, and also the one modern day, aspects of security. Will be behind, and then the criminal element will outwit our security every time. And then we are upgrading our security system with information, with training, collaboration with other sister security agencies. Internationally, I think we engage in what bilateral consultations are. New security and aspects in election processes. I'm sure I think we'll learn something positive, and then with what has happened in Ghana, security-wise, 2028 in Yokoma, we'll be better prepared than we were in those previous years.
But Sana Meja Mwakono, at the end of my Ghana, they be just a train my BBC answer. Bibini Sansu see we near a committee. Na committee need a recommendation, but yes, Sansu fan Yajuma. And so I'm asking. At the end, they say and see a bit more proactive. See a bit me too, a dear be one among. Near ye who say, ama stakeholders no obi ahu dia woso ye na adeboni emfre akira ma sense ye best science agu yachi aka bia hye edami fam ne ya ma ya nimienu sabe ye hwene tia asa ntamu atwen ama ade no wasi awie ye wi ane ase aboka sa ye te committee e wo ho ede ne ha ye ntimi nyesa ade dog.
It's very unfortunate, Minister, and the issue with what I see is one, structural system has been programmed say we are not proactive enough, proactive to detect, proactive to work on early warning signs, proactive to what? Implement. Meanwhile, we have laws, we have very good policy at mining concept. We should detect all these things and then attack them or deal with them before it manifests into bigger issues. And then also politics. This Rarura is a structure. It's very difficult. Sometimes the political situations. Big man somewhere will call you, wait, don't do this. It goes against my people. And I say, I call for more catap and hold on and all of that. And you know some of the reasons why we sit and questions happen and we are not proactive enough. But I really know I was saying proactive. Every institution should be independent to act without any interference.
Dog, into when Hebe, dear Muntaka can't be able to win that Jumani.
That is why we are all watching it to be very, very attentive with regards to implementing the recommendations in the report. And then, how do we ensure that the say follows to the latter? We do assess or more. I also work for 2024. Who are those people? If they more, they'll parade them or whatever. After they say any more, we'll get you know. And then we learn from that. There's nothing going to work for us.
Okay, dance papa pass and the say Yaman the buffet or hobel dear chenia ready a court to do Omujina. The be free mobile you say a just a bois, your best free Biona and Commonia to us. Or a security analyst or some lecturer Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Victor Doke Nianini Dean Commono.
Ya to akase boy so ade ni chem wansan foforo aso onsoafo ya wo hwe agya hoden won sam so wo my Ghana mu Dr. John Jinapo no won wo kasa no wo chese sisi ade wo my Ghana oyo ne gas ne egu sempenifu anhwe anya hyehye pa de ate hɔ no ma na egu seto wase wo hwe energy sector na kane na nka Ghana de yensem a ye kanyina ne se beboa yen ye sika sam to efa pem nyina anu anagina beboa my Ghana economy na nso ye kan wase sisi ade te BFM no hawa FM ntino ama omanfo nyina aboso apese enti se ya na energy sector ne kwade na Ghana fo ye koya na se ye baye wade sansem wagina to dwabra bedwam nkasa ho dwumedie koso won krapomponi mantem na wo chese birimu de oil and gas wo Ghana ha no gidie ma papa investors ne won wase eguso a eba fom wase anu se be ha dwene pa de ama Ghana fo wo yi anu esinche local content no wase mpanifo adwen hyedan koso nti ensi ya wo ye minister de wase won kan na da omanfo na afemu de edimu so wasafata so otimi ye no wase obekɔso atimi aye ba ko a wasoro manfo nyina ne so wase Ghana ban de ya no woguso sha se se wo sigina ya wontonko aban ne ye nhyehyɛ se ne be ya local content no ye betimi amanagina naso brand se ya wase ya no ohia omanfo se nyina ye betimi de ho agimu nya se Ghana ban kuto na enye ntino ya sɔre ya se aban asem we de wodea media minkebi local content memwa Ghana ban enti omana nkasa japade na ɛwɔ de na afi ye twene fo bisa wase Ghana ba woni gye ne no ana minister abo amane a wo kyese ba ha dwene ntino eba local production de yenhwe si ebetimi aboa wo man no.
Which some years back saw Ghana's GDP jump by double digits. This sector, which heralded and was seen as a catalyst for Ghana's economic transformation, now faces very, very serious and significant challenges. Indeed, this industry is seen